Difficulties here with our internet connection, so we're just pre-recording this. We'd like to turn the show over here to one of our hosts, Coach Dave Carroll, at this time.
Folks, we'd like to welcome our show sponsor, our Wendy's in Proctorville. We have tonight with us our general manager down there, Sarah Vyers. The district manager's name's Renee, and of course we have Wendy's, and they are going to be supplying us with food and drink tonight. Ladies, make sure you turn around and say hi to the camera. Turn around, Wendy, say hi to everybody. Oh, they got more. Well, we want to thank Wendy's for
Thank you.
Supplying us tonight. Everybody gave us something to eat and drink. Ladies, thank you all very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Folks, you all need to support your local Wendy's down here in Proctorville. Go in and see Sarah, see Wendy.
Once again, we'd like to thank Wendy's of Proctorville for their sponsorship of the show, bringing us some goodies to eat. We're joined now by senior Steeler Lee and Stephen Rose. Both these guys, 4-year players here in Carroll, had the opportunity to be the winningest class in school history with a win tonight. Huge accolades for what you guys have done. It says a lot about your time here. And it's not like you guys are 1 or 2 year players. You guys have been very active over the last 4 years. Key to a lot of these Dragon victories. You're playing in your 4th and final Chesapeake series. You have the opportunity to win this game for the 4th time. Steeler wants to kind of start with you. What's it mean? I know Mama's a Chesapeake grad.
She is.
So what's it mean to you tonight to take the 4th straight, hopefully, from the Panthers? And what's this series mean in this career for you?
This series means absolutely everything to me. I've grown up from a young age. At 6 years old, Coach Mike Jackson was my coach. And, before every single Chesapeake game, he'd write me a fake letter as if Chesapeake's coaches had written it, just trashing me and stuff. And that seemed to always pump me up for this game. And just the history of this game, like in itself, and the rivalry and the jokes we play on each other every year, I love it. I live for it. And to be able to say that they've never beat me and confidently say they won't beat us tonight, it feels good.
Stephen, same question here. What's it mean to be a 4-time, possibility of being a 4-time champion over Chesapeake, going out and one of the winningest classes here?
It's like you said, you keep the notes it always pumps us up, and just to say that I never lost it in my high school career.
Guys, I appreciate it. Good luck to you guys. I know you guys got to get taped. Get out here in a few minutes. We're going to see you in behind us getting warmed up.
All right.
Good luck to you guys tonight.
Thank you.
We're looking for number 4, and we're going to continue to keep this Joe Smith trophy in our trophy case for next year.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
Coach Harris, we're going to kind of, while we're getting Katie Pruitt in here on our set, we're going to kind of talk to you. You had the ability as a player. You played in this series for 4 years. You coached in this series several times. I believe you did not lose to Chesapeake. Is that correct? As a football coach?
You did not. I'm not sure. You did not.
I do not think
I only had one bad season. That was the last one. But I'm not sure whether
I think we got him that year too, Coach. Tell us a little bit about, as a player and a coach, what's this series like?
Well, it's one of those things where you don't really have to give a rah-rah speech in the locker room. I remember as a player, we would have bonfires, and they would have bonfires, and they would come up here and try to burn our bonfire, and we would be out here waiting on them. And that first year when I was a sophomore, which is the first year Carroll had ever won it, we were throwing eggs at them, and they were throwing rocks. I remember Jim Finley right next to me. Took one right in the lip. But and one year they burned a C in the middle of our field, my senior year, and it can get crazy. I'm sure it's toned down a little bit now, but it used to be really crazy. One year Wayne Hager jumped up on the top of the car and they drove him all the way through Chesapeake. But it can be wild and crazy, but it means a lot to both schools. I can tell you this, if Chesapeake comes in here tonight, they're going to play like this is a Super Bowl, because it would make their season. And Fairland is, they played as tough as they could play, except for one ball game, as far as I'm concerned. We didn't fare very well down at Portsmouth, and really had a poor performance that game. But the rest of them, we played really tough, and we're coming in here at 6-3 with the opportunity to go 7-3. Either get a home playoff game, or we will be in the playoffs.
I agree, Coach. You said a lot of things there, a lot of things about the rival, but it's the Lawrence County Super Bowl. You throw the records out, no matter how good each team is. We've kind of experienced some things here where we've come in. Both of us have come in 0-9, needing that one win to end the season. And we've also come in with so much on the line with conference championships. And we're going to kind of come back to that because I know Coach Carroll, you were involved in a three-way tie with victory over Fairland back in the day. We'll talk to Katie Pruitt first. Katie Pruitt is a senior here at Fairland High School. She's on the volleyball team. She's also a key member of our softball team. 9 home runs last year. 8 home runs last year. Power hitter for us. She's going to have the opportunity to continue her academic and athletic career at Shawnee State. Katie, let's talk volleyball first. You guys are High Valley Conference champions, first time since 2013. You were able to beat Gallipolis, first time in 97 games. Gallipolis had lost on a High Valley Conference. First game they lost since they had joined our league back in the 2016 season. What's it like, the camaraderie, to have that opportunity to win that volleyball championship?
Honestly, I just feel like the most important thing with that is leaving a legacy for our underclassmen. And it honestly, just the adrenaline, winning against them the other day, it was just crazy. And you could just see the students and how supportive and proud of us that they were. So
I agree. The student section the other night was crazy. Let's talk softball. Big senior season coming up. I know there's a lot of expectations for you guys, not only for you as an individual, but your team. You got Kaylee Sayers, who was close to you in the home runs last year, great pitcher. Katie DeHart, McKenna Blind. And I know I'm missing teammates, so please, name the ones that I'm missing there. But then you have the opportunity to continue. What's that like?
Honestly, I wanted to continue my career in softball, and I started ball, and it's just I know that my family is very supportive and proud of me, and I'm just really excited to be able to have the opportunity to continue my career, and I just hope that continues to be the legacy for my little brother and all of my younger family members, and even the underclassmen here.
Katie, it seems like you got your goals going in the right direction. You got your head screwed on straight. We're extremely happy for you. Coach, I know you have the opportunity. You have Katie in class a little bit. Great academic student. What's your thoughts on being able to see some of your students excelling and going on to the next level?
Anytime that you get a chance to watch anybody, get to play a sport after high school, it's great. There's not a whole lot of people that get to do this. And Katie has put this time in. I've known Katie a long time. I still have a little post-it note from 2 or 3 years ago on my computer monitor that she gave me, and I still got it. Katie means a lot to me when I coached softball a couple of years ago, so I wish her the best, and she knows I wish her the best.
Katie, good luck to you guys. I know Rickey's got a couple things here. Good luck to you. Extremely excited for you guys. Can't wait till Monday night. Athens, play Gallipolis again. Let's get it twice in one season. Rickey, I know you had something you wanted to add to that.
Yeah, so Katie, you get to play for Coach Mary Haynes, who's done a great job of rebuilding the volleyball program. You get to play with Coach Hayes in softball. Talk a little about the coaches, what they meant to you, that you've been able to play under in volleyball and softball.
Honestly, they love to focus on our life lessons over sports and everything. They prioritize our academics and making good decisions, and they really try to be parent figures to us and really guide us through life and stuff, and I really appreciate that. And as for athletics, they always push us and try to give us their best so that we'll be able to.
So with that, what's been your favorite lesson they taught you as a young student athlete?
Honestly, probably to not go out and party while you're in college and make dumb
you know, I didn't go to a lot of volleyball games, but I enjoyed. You guys are fun to watch. You play a really good brand of volleyball.
Katie, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us a little bit about volleyball and softball. Enjoy the rest of your evening over here in the student section. We look forward to hearing you cheer over here. Things exciting for us over there. We're going to kind of go back to Mr. Carroll, and we were kind of touching on when he was in high school, and I believe it was a three-way tie between Colgrove, Chesapeake, and Fairland. I know Coach Steve Lambert, utmost respect for him. As a leader in the OVC for years, I've known him for years. Your head coach, talk a little bit about how that whole thing, we're going to say 80 something. That way people really don't know.
Well, we'll say mid-'80s.
Mid-'80s.
And I believe Coach Harris was on the Fairland staff at that time. I believe he was coaching linebackers, I believe. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Mid-'80s?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it might have been.
Is that why you got beat that one off the Chesapeake?
Well, I wasn't calling off.
Oh, okay. That's right. You're right. Yeah, that was a great year. We had a three-way tie. Chesapeake, that's the only time I think in the 80s that Chesapeake beat Carroll. Was that year, if I'm not mistaken. And it's 33-7 was the final there. But it's a three-way tie because we beat Fairland, and Colgrove beat us 17-14, I believe it was. And then Fairland came back the last game of the season, beat Colgrove, and it forced us into a three-way tie. And that's something I've never forgotten. It was great. And like I said, you talk about Coach Steve Lambert. Coach Harris and I interviewed him out at the Rock Hill game. Real good friend. I mean, he's a super mentor to me. He took the time to come and talk to us, and we appreciated that from him.
Yeah, a great asset to the OVC, the Rock Hill District after we moved on from Chesapeake. Coached there for several years. Can't say enough about what he's done for our league and for numerous youth in Lawrence. Let's talk a little bit about the history of this series. 74th meeting. First one was in 1949. Chesapeake getting the win there, 39-0. But since then, the series 36-1. We got one tie there in 1970, 20-20. 1-point games. We've had two of them. Coach, I know that you were the head coach in 1995. Right. Jason Brumfield makes a stop down here on the goal line.
No, that was a Colgrove. You made that stop. We won 37-36. But I remember we won that game, and Jimmy Harris, yes, he'll be here. He was playing defensive end for Chesapeake, and he had transferred down there, and we ran a split in reverse on about the 2-yard line. Jimmy tackled it. Ben Keeney tackled him just as Ben handed the ball off. Jimmy said something like, "I got you." Ben said, "Rickey over there." as Chris Lee went into the end zone, but we had to kick an extra point to win it. Ryan Hager was our kicker at that time, and Ryan hit the top of the crossbar and it bounced over.
He's been in there working with the team a little bit, talking to him. We'll kind of welcome him. Coach, welcome to the show. Not your first. You've won 5 straight. Sorry. Since you've been here, you're 8th here. You've won 5 straight. You've been a part of this. Some tight ball games over the years. Give us a little background on your 8 years in this rivalry.
It's definitely been good, and definitely the last several years has been wonderful for our side anyway. I mean, when we first got here, Chesapeake was realistically one of the top teams in the OVC. It was them and Ironton. They were battling every year, and so we had our share of growing moments with them. But here of late, we've really grown as a program and as a football team as a whole. So it's really been a positive side to the rivalry for us.
It has been. And you mentioned it. Coach Andy Clark was here when you got here. Andy did an outstanding job. He went up to Fairfield Union as their athletic director. He had the Chesapeake program going in the right direction. Coach Nip has been here. several years. You and I are both good friends. Coach Carroll's good friends with Coach Nip. Outstanding young man. Does a good job down there. You know, what's those phone calls like throughout the week when you're prepping, talking with Coach Nip? What are those conversations like? I know they're completely different because once the lights come on here in a few minutes, it's a war, it's a battle. But you know, I know the friendship's real. And what are those conversations like?
You know, he's a great guy, and you know, we share a few laughs. We talk about some old times. I mean, even dating back to when he was the head coach at Rock Hill, and you know, he's done a really good job at Rock Hill and as well here at Chesapeake. And you know, I think sometimes records ain't indicative of the job that you're doing. And you know, so many people screams for wins and losses, and they don't see sometimes the underlying aspect of what you're doing. And I think that's missed sometimes down there with Coach Nip, just because the record hasn't been where he would even like it to be. But you know, when you speak to him, I mean, thing, man, the man smiles all the time. He's always upbeat, and but he understands out here tonight. Once his clock gets reset and they put 12 minutes on, it's a battle. And you know, he wants to beat me as bad as I want to beat him, and it's what, you know, the same thing with all the players who are playing. So you know, our conversation was good during the week, but you know, when we get to this point, it ain't a lot of talking to be done between either one of us. We'll shake hands at the end of the game and move on to what we're blessed to have. If we are both blessed to have another week.
Coach, we're going to let you get out of here and get back in the locker room. I think the four-headed dragon quarterback show needs a few little final talk through. We'll let you get back in here to talk to the four-headed dragon back in the locker room. Coach, we appreciate it.
I gotta say something here. I'm going to interrupt you just a second. Coach, I watched you coach a lot of football games, either in person or on the phone, what have you. But I thought last week, you know, everybody was kind of down in the mouth. A 3-year starting quarterback wasn't going to play, and had no idea what you did was absolutely the finest coaching job that I've seen. I know, and not just because you used 4 quarterbacks, but I read in the paper that you had the insight to set this thing up just in case something like this happened. So that makes me more proud of you.
You know,
You did an outstanding job last week.
Appreciate it. I mean, but you've been in those situations too. I mean, you know, coming into the season, you always got to play the what-if game. I mean, because you don't, I mean, obviously, every what-if situation, you're not going to prepare for it because it may have been one of the what-ifs that you didn't expect. But coming into this season, you know, when you go back and look over the 4 years, we had several players that's been hurt multiple games. So we had to have what-if situations if this individual wasn't in or this individual was out. What if they're both out? You know, we look at our defense and we understand the importance of Ryan Dixon to our overall success of our defense. So we had a situation where what if Ryan Dixon's not there? What are we going to do? And you know, so we saw that happen. We had a plan for that, and then the dreaded what if Peyton Jackson went out, and so we had a plan, and I think that so many times that if you're not in the room or you know what happened at Portsmouth, the situation took place there, and it looked like we didn't have a plan because so many times when a situation happens and you're surrounded by the flames, you're already inside the fire. You panic, and that's players, coaches, everyone. Even though you may have, but it's so different when you have a week to prepare. It's kind of like the firefighters that runs into the fire. They're not panicked. They're not afraid because they're prepared. They're ready for the moment. And you know, and the thing is I've never, God's blessed me to play college football, to play professional football. I've been in many big situations, so the noise around me on the outside has never affected who I am or what I am or ever allow it to affect what's inside, because if it does, you just got to get the right people on the bus and the wrong people off. I mean, it's just how it is. And so we had a game plan. We were able to practice it for a week, and we came out here and they truly executed, regardless if it was Stiller Leap or Bryson Hunt or Jack. Defense played well, so everybody we were ready for the moment. So I appreciate you saying that, and that means a lot. I mean, you coach a lot of games yourself, Coach Carroll, and you know when y'all guys make those comments, it rings loud, man. So I definitely.
Well, Coach Cunningham, I want to say I was impressed with your offense, but I'm going to tell you right now, the job you did on defense to me was bigger than anything. I mean, I'm an offensive guy, but what you did last week, stopping them and allowing that running back for have 60 yards, that was a great job.
I appreciate it. I mean, look at Justin McKee and the way he's played over the last couple of weeks. I mean, man, Justin's been special. But I thought one of the big moments in that game is, we understanding what they do, they wasn't going to throw the ball. It enabled us to put Garrett Spence and Will Calicote and start them at cornerbacks. And I mean, they both had great games. They set their edge. They did some things, turned it into those big guys that were really playing well in the trenches. And then our two linebackers were
I'm telling you, you had 9 guys basically in the box, and I know Coach Gorby, when we were playing them, we did that all the time.
Yeah.
Just try to stop them from going off tackle, or because they run the ball, and we'd sit up there and say, well, this is what they're going to do, and you guys are ready.
Oh yeah, our coaching staff, man, you got to tip your hat to those guys. I mean, it's all them. I tell y'all guys every year that I'm just blessed to be a part of the group with those guys. I mean, they do the majority of the work, and I get to reap the benefits of it. Y'all out here patting me on the back when you should be patting those guys, man. So I appreciate it.
Coach, I appreciate it. Good luck to you. We'll see you here in a little bit from pregame.
Hey, listen, Wendy's, I appreciate that, man. I ain't gonna leave y'all hanging.
That's what it's there for.
We're gonna get Mr. Jim Harrison here. He's gonna come in and join us. While we're doing that, we're gonna talk a little bit about, it's funny with this rival, Fairland Chesapeake. Now, it happened to be a basketball game. But that was kind of the first conversation you and I had was at Chesapeake High School. Rickey and I kind of had our first conversation and kind of developed a partnership from there. So, this rivalry, you being kind of a transplant into here means something to you now because of the relationships and stuff that you've made with the kids and the coaches here at Fairland.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, I do have a business here in Proctorville. And it's kind of one of those things. You're open to everybody, but with our agency being here in Proctorville, we formed a great relationship working with Jeff on several different things, and it's really blossomed from there. We do a lot of different stuff with the Fairland athletes, Athlete of the Week, and the different promotional programs we do together. And it did start at the gym down in Chesapeake during a Chesapeake Fairland game. Right there on the wall in the corner, and then it started. Now we're 8 years working together on different stuff. So, yeah, it's funny, and it is a great rivalry that I think a lot of times people don't realize how much genuine animosity there is between the two of them, just when you see the purple or the green from either side. So, yeah.
And Rickey, we appreciate everything you do for us and for the kids, not only for our schools, but the community, everything you've done for our community here. We do appreciate that. We're joined by Mr. Jim Harris. Kind of a little background. Jimmy and I got to know each other. I was a senior, and he was a freshman here at Fairland. He was here at Fairland just a little bit, and we got to know him. Joined by Coach Nip. I know he's going to be. Jimmy, we're going to, if you don't care, can we put you on the back burner just about 30 seconds?
I think Coach Nip has more to do than I do right now.
He's got a little important job to do.
He's going to get that microphone.
He's going to have to pick his microphone up over here. Coach Nip, welcome to the show. We appreciate you coming on and joining us. Coach, we go way back. We, went to high school at the same time, played against each other, and we coached against each other. I appreciate you coming down and talking to us a little bit. We'll kind of turn it over to Coach Carroll and let him give you some questions and see what's going on.
Coach, just wanted to thank you for taking the time. I know I talked to you earlier today, but just tell us a little bit. I mean, I know the season hadn't been exactly what you want, but just tell us a little bit about it. Tell us a little bit about your kids. And this is a rivalry game, and you throw the records out. Just talk to us about it.
We came in this season. We knew we were going to have a pretty young squad. Kids have done a real good job, worked hard. We were fortunate enough to get a couple of victories early on in the season. Season went on, kind of, football's a game of attrition. Our kids we got beat up, banged up through a tough stretch through the middle of our schedule. But, hey, we keep showing up every Friday night, playing hard, working hard. So, hey, being in a rivalry, I was just talking about a rivalry game earlier. So I grew up playing in a pretty heated rivalry. Was always curious what another one was like. This is my 6th go-around in this one, and it's just as heated as anything I've ever been in. We've had good games, lopsided games. I'm excited this evening to see our kids perform. We've had a great week, so we're ready to go.
Well, it's a big game for all of us. graduate from Chesapeake, but the thing is, all of us sitting here are all friends.
Right.
And for, you know, a little bit this evening tonight, we're going to be rivalries and we're going to be enemies. But after all said and done, you and I are going to slap each other on the back and shake hands, and it is what it is, and we move on.
Right. To me, that's kind of the beauty of these. You know, for 2 hours, we kind of get to take the gloves off, and then when it's over, it's over. Everybody, like you said, shake hands. You know, see you tomorrow evening or something like that. So,
Coach, you know, I know you're very active in the Ohio High School Football Coaches Association. We appreciate everything you do for us here in Southern Ohio. Any updates, anything maybe coming down the path that you can talk about? We understand there's things there that you probably can't, but
there's nothing really here. Not lately. Normally that cranks up around December, so that's when they start hitting us with everything, and then kind of go from there. Like I said, it's definitely an honor to kind of hold that position. I mean, I know and have a lot of respect for the guys who held that position before me, and to be able to do that now and represent our region is a definite honor. I said something early on. I didn't think I really wanted to see that side of it, but now that I'm in it, I mean, I really enjoy it and enjoy representing our area of the state.
And Coach, we appreciate you and thank you so much for everything. Like I said, everything you do for not only your team, for the league, and everybody in Southern Ohio. I know that's kind of a thankless job, and you don't get patted on the back, but you definitely deserve it, and we do appreciate everything that you do for us.
Thank you.
We don't have any other questions, Coach. I'm going to let you get back to your team. Good luck to you tonight.
All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate having me on.
All right. Thank you.
Good luck tonight, Coach.
Okay. Now we're going to kind of go back to Mr. Harris. We got him on the show here. We just had mentioned you about 10 minutes ago from that 1995 game, and Coach Harris was kind of talking about that a little bit. Jimmy, what's your, I know you kind of helped with the middle school team a little bit. You got some interest out here tonight.
Yeah, I do.
And a little bit of interest out here tonight.
Yeah.
Kind of tell us about your background and stuff with this game.
Oh, well, I mean, obviously I grew up in Proctorville. Right. I know both sides of the rivalry. I've played on both sides of it and appreciate both sides of it. I know that both of these teams want to win more than you can imagine. And as much as you as a player and as a coach, you say it's another week, it's not another week. It's different. It's a different thing, You, as an adult, you try to even it out, and even in my house this week, I've tried to just be like, hey, just go out and have fun, but I know I'm just trying to keep the fire somewhat under, so, but yeah, it's an exciting rivalry. I think everybody thinks their rivalry is the biggest rivalry. I'm sure Cold Grove and Rock Hill think theirs is, and Ironton and Portsmouth probably think theirs is, but I tend to believe this is kind of the Ohio State, Michigan of the tri-state region in my mind,
Oh, I agree. 74 years of it. This is the 74th meeting. We've been getting after it quite a while.
Yeah, and really what is interesting is there's just been some fantastic games that weren't supposed to be fantastic games.
I agree.
And you've seen that happen through the years on both sides. Games that Fairland won that they weren't supposed to win, and games that Chesapeake won that they weren't supposed to win. So who knows? Yeah. Who knows?
So, I agree with that. You talked about that. I was a junior, 1993. Coach Harris, you can talk about that. We're coming in heavy favorites in 93. Struggled. We were nervous. We had everything in the world to lose, and Chesapeake's out here giving us everything that they had. We were able to pull one out, but I know there's some other games that Chesapeake should have won, Fairland won, like you said, vice versa. What is your role? I know you're doing something, Panther Pride, something with the community down there, getting the weight room. Share a little bit about that, what you're doing for
the big thing over the last year we've been working on is a peak performance project, which is really just trying to raise money to improve the athletic facilities, specifically the weight training and physical training. So we raised about $32,000 and really tried to upgrade the weight room. And it's not just a football thing, it's a community thing. The weight room was a real important part of my life. Growing up, it's a place where I learned how to work hard. I mean, I love football, but not as much as I love the weight room. I just think there's a lot to learn in those situations. So we had some improvements that I felt like could be made, and I felt like I might have had some skills that could help raise that money. And we got out and had some fantastic businesses and individuals support us and put $32,000 in, and we've watched the energy. We have a middle school weight program now. I feel like that's important to have developmentally appropriate weight training for kids as they're coming up. Now I'll tell you, it kind of shows how both communities play off each other. A big part of that, a friend of mine growing up, Josh Petrie, Tree and Alpha and all that. I mean, he's done great things with young people in the Proctorville community and all up and down the river, and developing them not only physically but also personally through the weight room. And I wanted our kids to have that opportunity, and we're real proud of what we've been able to create.
That's good. That's exciting. You know, we were able to build a new weight room down here 2 years ago, move it down on this end, and completely, you know, just brand new weight room, new locker room. So those little things right there, you don't realize the impact until you see it 3 or 4 years down the road. And we've seen that, and what Petrie's doing. You mentioned him. So, Coach, we appreciate you coming on. You guys got any questions? I know you
Well, I got a comment for him because he started out as a Chesapeake boy because he lived 1 block from where I grew up.
I did in the terraces.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I grew up in the
And I
terraces.
remember his older brother and sister and little Jim running around all the time.
Yeah, my mom taught at Chesapeake for 32 years. I went there, and my brother, who's actually here today, he went there for a while. And so we've been Farrell and Chesapeake for our whole lives, up one side down the other. And now I'm nervous as can be because I've got a sophomore out there that's going to try to take some snaps and do something tonight. We'll see what he's got.
Well, Matt can keep you calmed down.
Oh, yeah. He's done that well. Yeah, he's pretty good at it.
Jim, I just want to say that it broke my heart when you went back to Chesapeake.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You were going to be a heck of a tight end for it. And you left me.
Listen, I appreciate everything that everybody did for me at Farrell, and that was those are formative parts of your life, and the coaches that you have and the experiences you have, and you don't really realize it until now I'm 43 years old, and as you get older, you're like, man, how important that stuff was. And that's why when I'm at my age now, I'm trying to create those environments for kids too. So I appreciate it.
Yeah. Keep up the good work. Anything you ever need, we're always here to help out any way we can, with the exception of letting you win this ball game tonight.
I appreciate it. Feelings mutual.
We appreciate you coming on, Jim. Thank you. We're going to talk a little bit more of the history of this rival, some different things, some notes that we went through. The win streak, Fairland's at the longest win streak for Fairland's at 10, and that was in, I believe, looks like 1985 to 1997. Chesapeake's longest winning streaks are 8, and that was in 1998 to 2005. This rivalry over the years, like I said earlier, you can really throw out the records at any point in time. It doesn't matter one team could be coming in 9-0 and the other team 0-9, and it's going to be a tight ball game. And we've seen a lot of great athletes play in this game, excel in this game. And, I'm thinking back, just from the Fairland standpoint of some guys that I've seen play in this rivalry, that Kedrick Cunningham, Michael Jackson, I know Dean Wilkes, years ago played in this rivalry. There's names from Chesapeake, the Davis twins, the Coach Davis's with kids that played in this. Robbie Isaacs, Glenn Dillon, there was a teacher here for years. It's a principal down at Chesapeake Middle School now. These are recent guys.
Mike Whitley. Think about him. He was principal here. He went to Chesapeake. There's a lot of people we can name.
We go back to 1949. I was born in the late 70s. Started watching and being a part of this in the 80s when my dad got the job driving the bus here, and I was with a lot of them. Sat on the cooler. I may have ate all of Coach Harris's fried chicken 35 years ago, and he ain't let me live that down to this day.
There was nothing left but bones.
We did leave the bones for him that night, but he reminds me of that quite often, and we get a giggle out of that. We're joined with Lady Dragons basketball coach. You just finished tryouts, 14th season.
Coach, help yourself to some of that good Proctorville Wendy, buddy.
Our guy Juice hooked us up.
He did.
Hey.
He just hooked us up. So, Coach, starting your 14th season today, tell us a little bit about, how was that tryout? And was it any different than the other 13 before?
I mean, the players might have more experience, so that was good. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of terminology that we use today that anybody really wasn't familiar with. So that was maybe somewhat different, but yeah, it was good. It was good.
Good. Exciting season. We're looking forward to some big things for you and for your team. You return all 5 starters off a regional final team that's probably, we're going to say, maybe a very contested layup away from going to the state tournament last year. To be able to have that experience back, and all your bench players back from last year, you're adding a very talented freshman group. a lot to look forward to. Talk about your schedule a little bit. I know you're in some couple big shootouts, playing some big name schools.
Yeah, I really tried to. Every year I say, we're playing the hardest schedule we've ever played, and then you come back and, you feel like that the next year, So I feel like this year, we opened up with John Glenn, which was in the D2 regionals. We play Marietta, which was Division I last year. They're now Division II. They're good. Spring Valley, which is a contender to win the state title. I know I was looking at West Virginia rankings of individual players, and they have their whole starting fives. All 5 players are ranked in the top 10 of their class, like in West Virginia. So, they're really good. And there's just so many. Like Cincinnati Summit Country Day lost in the state semifinal. We play them. There's just a number of teams that we're going to play that are really going to challenge us. But that's what makes practice good. Yeah. There's no all right, well, we have a non-league game and maybe they're not very good. Well, no, they're really good, and we really try to schedule it like that. That's fun for our kids. It's fun for our fans. It's fun for me, so I always try to do that.
Yeah, I agree, and it's exciting. Being the athletic director, to watch you participate in these shootouts and these type of games, it's exciting. Not only for me, for our kids and our fans to be able to go to these. We're not going to a non-conference game where there's 8 people in the stands. We're going to play in front of the Classic in the Country, one of the bigger tournaments. They're bringing teams in from Las Vegas and Los Angeles. It's not like they're just bringing them in from 5 miles down the road. So
you got to have really good players to get in Classic in the Country, and we do. We have good players that are being recruited and are going to be recruited. And the team we play, Margaretta from up around Sandusky, they've got one of the best seniors in Ohio. So, yeah, but that again, that's fun. That's why we work 10 months out of the year on this.
Right.
Like we want to play somebody good.
Yeah. Coach, before we get basketball underway and start scrimmaging, you got a big race tomorrow. District race.
Yeah.
I know you kind of took over the boys cross country here. Get to watch your son. Brody's had a very successful season. Owen Baker. You got Jonathan Nida coming on strong. Senior Walker panel that we're going to introduce here at senior night. Get some other Austin Kujak, Elijah Kitt. How's that race you think going to shake out tomorrow for you?
I think we have a few guys that have opportunity to go on to the next round of the regionals, which is not easy to do. I know that, they take the top 32 in the race, but when you're talking like the top 32 individuals in all of Southern Ohio, that's a big deal, So, I think we have 3 or 4 guys that have a chance to do that. Our kids have really bought in and worked really hard. They show up every day, and it's really fun to be around them. I really enjoy it, and it's something that when I first came to Fairland, I coached 8th grade basketball, but I also coached cross country and dealt with track, and I can't say it's my first love, but it's my adopted love. I really do like it. It's really something that I really enjoy.
Yeah. Hey, good luck to you. Good luck to your teams tomorrow. Hopefully, we got some regional qualifiers the next week up in Picardy. We're excited for that. Again, we're excited for this basketball season. You guys got anything for Coach Buchanan before he signs off?
I got one for you, Coach. So last year, the expectation is, hey, we went to the regional finals last year. What's it like coming into the season with those kind of expectations, returning all your starters? What's it like managing those expectations and then building your team up to that level again? I know that that's a year-long process that I think a lot of people don't realize how much you do off-season wise to prepare your girls for those opportunities.
We talk to our kids. Honestly, my one of, if not the most favorite time I have at basketball is the summertime, and we really enjoyed our summer. And in the last game, the last day of summer, we talked to our kids about, hey, this is Tommy and Reese's last opportunity to play summer basketball, and Bree and Kylie in that class only has 10 days left of summer basketball. So the message today to the team was, you got to embrace every day and embrace every drill and get better every day. And I think that we try. Our kids did a good job of that. We're really we're not focused on. To me, in my mindset, we're not focused on anything but Monday. We want to be great on Monday at practice. We want to get in better shape Monday. We want to be a better communicating team on Monday, or a better teammate on Monday, whatever the case is. Because, like you take, for instance, football. football technically starts in August. It's August, September. We're in October, and lots of teams' season will end tonight. If you're good at basketball, it started in October, November, December, January, February, March. You're a part of 6 months. That's how long the season is. So if you're going to focus on something that is maybe going to happen in March, man, you're cheating. You're cheating everything. You cheat everything if you don't focus on every single step.
I got a question for you. Is this not the deepest team that you've ever had?
You know, I think it's probably the most talented team we've ever had. I know the 2014 team, the first team that made the state tournament, obviously had a 6'4" kid that went to Michigan and some other, like some really good players around it. But I mean, really, like from a skill wise, this team we have, I mean, we really feel like we're going to play 9 or 10 kids and not see much drop off, like from 1 to 9. You know, so we it's definitely the most deep we've been. So we've really tried to. You're going to see us adjust the way we coach and the style we play a little bit to accommodate the fact that, you know, we feel like we have more people that can play.
Right. And one other thing I wanted to say, you talked about, and they brought up the fact of how hard you work and prepare. I always told my kids, hey, you don't get better between November and March. You get better between March and November.
Right.
Buddy, you do that to a T.
Well, I mean, the thing about it is, Coach, like, if your kids aren't willing to do that, then, like, I mean, I'd be showing up to the gym shooting by myself, you know, or, like, unlocking the gym for, like, so our kids are really bought into that. And not just our kids, our parents. I mean, like, the amount of things our parents take their kids to do, whether it's not just bringing them to my gym, but taking them to this showcase event or traveling for this AAU event or whatever. Like, if our kids don't appreciate their parents and don't understand the role that their parents play in their, like, goals and, like, who they are as a player, then they're delusional. And I hope that they really do understand that, because without our parents, without the kids' work ethic, without all those things, you know, we're not talking about being really good.
Coach, we appreciate you coming on. Good luck to you this season, and again, good luck to you Saturday.
Take the bag.
Take your little
drink.
Take your little bag there from Juice. Again, we appreciate Wendy's for showing up and providing us a little pregame meal here. We'll get a chance to partake in that here after. We're joined now by our head cheerleading coach, Miss Carrie Zuber. This is her first year here at Farrell. Girls have qualified for nationals. You got some girls that are no stranger to this. You know, some of your seniors were there as freshmen. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, I know you got a lot of fundraising going on. You guys are going in February, correct?
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about that and how the community can help you out with those things.
Yeah, so we have to go through a lengthy process to even qualify for nationals. We have to attend camp in the summer, attend regionals typically in the fall, to receive a bid, and then from there we can attend nationals in February. So it's a lengthy process, and it's a costly process sometimes too. Cheerleading's not a cheap sport if you've ever experienced it. So as far as fundraising goes, it's going to take not just only the girls and the parents, it is really truly going to take the community, sending them and helping them get down there. So we're looking to do a lot of different fundraisers actually involving the community. That's a huge element I wanted to bring to Fairland specifically, was community involvement, getting the girls out there and, you know, being leaders, not just in school, but in our community, and, you know, leading our youth league. It's a very huge thing I have on my heart to say, hey, we need to get down there and start leading those girls and educating them. And, you know, I always say, like, you know, they look at you like you have stars in their eyes, you know, and so we're looking to do a lot of community involvement with our fundraising. You know, we always appreciate any business sponsorships, of course, which is a huge privilege to receive. So yeah, it's gonna take a whole collective to get us there, but I know we can do it, and the girls are working already extremely hard. We practice 3 times a week, plus we have football games heading into basketball season. So we are nonstop.
That's good. You know, I know you're no stranger to successful football teams. Being from Kirkland, you know, what's the adjustment coming from that type of atmosphere, a team that's won 5 straight, to come into here? You know, I know you were at Marshall for a little bit as a cheerleader over there, and then coming here, you know, kind of what is that adjustment for you?
Obviously temperature. You know, it's very cold near Cleveland, so it's definitely like warmer down here, I will say that. And the biggest adjustment for me is just honestly like the youth, like it sounds crazy, but like being so involved in youth league, you know, I grew up having me being involved, you know, and then my older brother, you know, being involved, even my little sister with the soccer program. So just consistent involvement in the youth, because those boys, for example, they were lifting with the high school boys in middle school, getting to build those connections, learning from them. And that's something I've told them several times. I'm like, if we want to go down and win and continue winning, we have to get involved in that. And so it's amazing when the middle school girls come up to them, they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for coming. Or, you know, the little girls that look up to them coming up and taking pictures and stuff. So I would definitely say that's the biggest adjustment that I ran into. I'm like, we're going to get involved in our youth, and we're going to make an impact there. So I definitely would say that's the biggest adjustment, and trying to break into that for sure. And I mean, that's, you know, my older brother, he was part of the, you know, the first team that won states in 2011. So since 2011, they've been winning, you know, he's almost 30. So, you know, and he mentioned, he was like, no, we run the same things from the time you hit youth league all the way through. And I was like, I heard that. I'm like, I'm going to take that same implementation, and we're going to be national champions on the regular. So I would definitely say that's the, you know, one of the other adjustments. And, you know, of course, you know, it's just a different culture too down here versus up there. So just learning a lot about that. Luckily, I have a fiance who's, you know, a Fairland grad, so he's helped out a lot with that and the different things that we have special here in the community too.
Carrie, we appreciate you coming on again. Community members, you got the opportunity to reach out to Carrie, help those guys out, help her girls out with getting to the Nationals. It's huge. Last time we were there, we got 4th overall. We're looking to build off of that. Again, we appreciate you coming on. You've done an outstanding job with our cheerleaders here, and we appreciate everything you've done. Thank you.
Good luck, Coach.
Yeah. We're going to kind of talk a little bit about the playoff scenario here. I know Rickey's got some things. I'm going to kind of bow out here. I've got to get ready for senior night activities. Guys, I appreciate you guys coming on, allowing me to come on and talk and do some things. That's something I don't normally get to do. I know you guys do a great job. I appreciate you following us on the road, taking care of us here at home. You know, it makes my job so much easier. I know our fans love you guys, enjoy watching your live streams. Coach Harris, Coach Carroll, I appreciate it so much. I can't thank you enough. Rickey, again, I can't thank you enough for everything you do for our school, our community. Even if it's just calling me on a random Tuesday night and let's just talk. You know, I appreciate the friendship and everything that we do. We've got some great things going here in Fairland. A lot more stuff in store for all of us. Hopefully the next time we get this all live and everything, we'll get everything taken care of. But again, guys, I appreciate it. I'm going to turn it over to you guys, let you talk a little bit of playoff and get some picks and finish up the show.
Hey, thank you, Jeff. And I just want to give him a compliment as an athletic director. I think, you know, a lot of times it's a guy that a lot of people don't realize what all he does for the athletes in the school. And Jeff, thank you for all you do for the Fairland athletes. I think we're very lucky to have him as the AD in our district.
I think the cheerleaders surprised him the other night.
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
They really did. That's very commendable on their part because they got it right.
That's right.
All right, so as we look at D5-19, which Fairland, you know, is now in this region, man, talk about big-time D5 football programs. So went on to joeedel.com and looked at the rankings today. And, Coach, what's your guys' thoughts as the playoffs have evolved? You know, we went from 4 teams to 8. Now we're at 16, and it's an entirely different game. So what's your thoughts, first of all, before we even get in playoff talk? We're talking, you know, Chesapeake wins tonight. They have a chance to make the playoffs at 3-7. You got, you know, Megs trying to get in the playoffs, and you know we've got all this stuff going on with South Point potentially looking at getting in at 3-6. So winning tonight gets you to 4-6, and you're a playoff team. Years ago, 9-1, 10-0 didn't guarantee you playoff berths.
That's right. We went 9-1 that year. We didn't make it.
In 1994, we went 9-1, didn't get a smell. The people we beat, we couldn't get any points on them. They all had terrible records.
Yeah.
And we're talking OVC teams, you know. They just, Cyber wasn't in the conference then, but I think a lot of it is.
Yeah, but Coach, it was hard to win every top 4 to get in.
You know, I coached in Kentucky for 9 years. But I live in football, but I'm talking 9 years. Every team in Kentucky would be 0-10 in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because you're in a district with either 4 or 5 teams. The only way you can't make it is if you're a 15 in a 14 district. And every team goes. So it doesn't bother me that they've got the top 16 teams in West Virginia, top 16 teams in each class. So I kind of think it's on a par with everybody else at the top 16. But it is amazing that Chesapeake coming in here at 2-7, they could beat Maryland, and if the right things happen in front, you know, they've got to have some upsets happen also.
Yeah.
They could slide in at number 16.
That's right. Yep.
And I think they're 20 right now. 19.
Yeah, basically what they've shown, if they win, they would have to win, and they can get into the 14 seed to the 16 to 17 range. Obviously 17 you miss. But if Chesapeake can win, they're a playoff team. South Point, if they win tonight against Gallia, they're potentially a playoff team. And that's completely throwing everything off. So let's look at the region. Ironton, with a win tonight, they're locked in at the 1. Harvest Prep is the 2. 3 through 8, you got a lot of teams playing right there. You got Barnesville, Centersburg, West, Byrd, Union Local, Portsmouth, Fairleigh, all in that mix. Coach, what's your thought? Are you guys think you're better to come in at an 8 seed? Or are you better to be a 12, 13 seed?
Well, we talked about that on the
Back
way
in my day,
in.
if you got in, it didn't matter where you were.
Yeah.
Because you were top, you know, there's only 14. Right. And, but if you're in the playoffs, it's good. It's good. The thing about it is if Portsmouth could happen to upset Ironton, which I don't think is going to happen. Portsmouth would have to play just like they played against us for that to happen, and Ironton would have to stub their toes big time. But I think they might flip-flop. They would go to 8.
We win, they go to...
They actually are showing if Portsmouth goes down and pulls the upset tonight, they can get up to the 3 seed.
Wow.
Depending upon what happens ahead of them.
Well, you're talking about points. That's the thing about it, points.
Portsmouth could
That's
jump
why
up to the
Chesapeake
3.
could get in because Fairland would give them a lot of points.
So if you're looking at so now obviously being a Fairland show, from Fairland perspective, we're pretty much looking 8-9 matchup. Difference is 8 seed, you get the home game, 9 you're on the road. If you're looking at it from the Fairland perspective, you're looking at probably a rematch against Portsmouth most likely.
That's what we talked about.
I think that's a good thing. I think Fairland would be satisfied to have another go against Portsmouth after the performance they put on a couple of weeks ago. I think they would be, you know, say, hey, we got a chance to redeem ourselves.
Here's what's interesting also about this. The 8-9 game, most likely the winner's going to play Ironton in round 2. How does that come into play if you're either one of these teams? Do you catch yourself looking ahead, or are you so focused on taking care of business? Because go back to being 14 to 17 years old or 18, does that start to distract you? Say, if I'm Portsmouth, I'm like, I got Fairland. We've already beat them. Then we get a rematch with Ironton. How do you approach that now? Because now you're looking 8-9 seed, you're getting one home game, then you're going to the top seed. Ideally, you'd like to get up to that 5-6 range, but it doesn't seem like we can jump up to 8 to 5-6 for Fairland. Fairland's pretty much even.
I think we're 8 or 9.
They said the highest they can get up to is 7 with a win.
Well, that's if some other people lose.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember who it was. Centerville, I don't remember who it was.
They need Union Local to get beat to jump up to the 7th seed.
What about Belmont? Did you look at Belmont? There was something about Belmont. I think that was Coach, wasn't it?
Belmont, Union Local. Yeah. It's the same. Yeah,
Same
same team.
Okay.
So Union Local. That's the only other game that Fairland's worried about. In addition to taking care of business tonight, obviously they want Ironton to beat Portsmouth, and then a Union Local loss pushing that 7th seed. So when you look at that region, what do you think has to happen for the Dragons to come out of it? You've got Ironton and Harvest Prep and Wheelersburg and all these big names in Southern Ohio football are in that region.
Well, I think it's the same scenario with like the girls basketball team. They jumped up a division, and they're going to have a great season. But now, Coach, you can't talk about all the good teams they're playing. They could run into those teams in a tournament. If they were back in Division III, it'd be a cakewalk to the state as far as I'm concerned. football, you move up to Division 5, and now you've got to play the big boys again. All right? And Fairland played them pretty good the first time, but in the end, they pulled it out. And I forget the score, but we went ahead like 6-0 right off the bat.
It was 34-13, but they had the pick six late, another late touchdown. I mean, it was realistically a one-score game most of the night.
Yeah, they played them tough, and anything can happen in the playoffs. Put that thing on the ground, and we'll get a few turnovers. But that's the thing you got to do if you're going to do the night. Usually they're pretty soft.
It's a great region, and I'm sure it'll be a fun playoff ride for Fairland no matter what. With just a lot of great teams in that. When you start looking at this region, it's like, wow, a lot of teams, and you're not going to have cakewalks to the regional finals, no matter who you are. So, all right. So, any other thoughts on D5 Region 19, or we like where we're at for Fairland, knowing what we need to do?
We're just happy we want to be in the playoffs.
I think last week was the key. I think it locked us in. No one expected us to dominate Coldgrove the way we did. And, buddy, it was total domination. Defensively, they hold the back Chase Hall to 80-some yards, or 64 yards, something like that. The kid was averaging 130 a game and then scored 31 touchdowns. So I think after we won that game, we locked ourselves in to the playoffs, and that was key.
Speaking of the last week game, so go back to coaching shoes. Obviously we're going to transition into tonight, but Coldgrove comes down here, a team that does not throw the ball much, and they become an air raid offense down here last week.
Second half.
Yeah. So you think about it, for Coach Cunningham tonight, going into tonight's game, going to get you guys in both coaching huddles. If you're Chesapeake, what are your keys tonight to beating Fairland?
Hold on to the football and don't let us touch it.
Okay.
Your offense is your best defense. Don't give us a chance to handle the ball.
Yeah, they run the double wing offense, a lot of motion, they run some option. They got to play mistake-free football. And still, they have to contend with that tough front four. Last week it was a front five. And they just totally dominated Coldgrove. So they got, like Coach said, they got to hold on to the football. And they got to pick up some first downs.
And I'm going to tell you, he's talking about that front line. They're going to have to double team a couple of those guys on our line tonight.
Right.
They can't single block them. I just don't think
they're going to have to get some turnovers too.
Yes.
I think if I'm Chesapeake, though, I go back to the 2019 game down there, and it's a 36-33 game. I don't know if you guys remember much about that night. Fairland was pretty much, they had to win to get into the playoffs. And Chesapeake wasn't very good that year, and it ended up coming down to the end. I believe that was the Michael Stitt game. Michael Stitt had a big night and scored multiple touchdowns. If you're coming into it and you're Chesapeake, are you showing your guys some of the previous wins or moments that you think, hey,
I think you do whatever you can to try to get them fired up. But honestly, this is a rivalry game, Coach. Did you have to do much to fire them up? I mean,
no. They have things going on every day in the school district. It's called a spirit week. They have a green day. They got whatever. They've had something different every week. So, community's involved. School community's involved. If you got to give a firebrand speech in the locker room before this game, then they really don't know what they're saying.
So now let's go over to the Fairland side. What are you saying if you're Coach Cunningham to the boys tonight?
We can't look past this group. That's right. We
take care of the football.
We had a great game last week. We have to back that up, or it really doesn't mean anything. Of course, I think they'll probably jump up to the 8th spot because I don't think Portsmouth can. But again, that's a big rivalry game too, and the way they played against us, it could happen.
Yeah.
But I think just like Coach says, take care of football. Be us. Just be us. Do what we do, defensively and offensively, and they should take care of it.
So if you're Coach Cunningham, how do you handle this? Pointing in the background here, we got senior night going on. It's got to be weird knowing, hey, we win, we get some help, we got another home game, but we're doing senior night. How do you handle the emotions of senior night?
Yeah, I always just took care of it the night before. I mean, I had a lap around and I talked to my kids and told them and what your expectations were the next day, and it wasn't that big of a thing for me.
No, to me it was big.
Yes.
Very emotional. If you're addressing those seniors, you're not going to playoffs, or there's a lot tougher back in the day. But that's when the emotion pours out. It's after the game, because you're saying goodbye to a bunch of guys you were bonded with for life.
Yeah. Absolutely. So I mean, I think that's, a couple different things to think about. Coming from the Chesapeake side, they're coming in and
attention,
they're
all
trying
senior
for an upset. They're
escorts
coming in
need
thinking,
to
hey,
meet
we can
down
shock
by
the
the
world
bandstands in the
We
end
want to upset, and
zone
we're
for
in the
senior
playoffs.
night.
Fairland's coming in, hey, we just got to take care of business. It's real simple. We believe we're better than Chesapeake. Steeler guaranteed a victory earlier, and now you're looking at preparing for that game. So I believe now we're on to our game picks.
And we got to hurry because we got to get this wrapped up.
Yeah.
Got to get out of here. Go ahead.
Well, which one do you want to pick, this or do you want to pick conference games? What do you want to do?
We'll go ahead and do conference games and do this one last.
Okay. Well, the first game let's talk about is going to be South Point and Gallia. And I'm going to go Gallia because I don't think that South Point has the kids to match with them.
Guys playing at home. We went up there and did that game and they played us and they played great. Of course, we gave them 3 turnovers. But we ended up putting 35 up on them. So
Dragon fans, the Fairland High School Marching Band has kept you
Gallia.
working throughout
I
the
think Fellier's the best
season and
quarterback
kept the
in the
energy
conference.
high here at Jim Mayo Memorial
I think he's going
Stadium.
to will them guys to victory.
Support the band by heading to the home side concession stand for some refreshments and to buy a raffle ticket for tonight's big raffle. At the beginning of the fourth quarter, there will be 3 drawings. One for a $300 Amazon gift card, one for a Blackstone Gas Tailgater Combo Grill worth $319, and one for a Yeti Hopper M20 backpack cooler worth $325.
This is the game I think.
You choose which item you want to win when you fill out the ticket.
It's Cold Grove.
Tickets are 1 for $5
Rickey,
or 5 for $20. Go
Dragons.
Dragons.
Big game.
If Rock Hill plays like they played the Fairland Dragons, Rock Hill wins. So I'm going to go with Rock Hill. I think tonight they've got a lot to play for. I'm going Rock Hill.
Gotcha. Man, that's interesting. Cold Grove, excuse me, if they wouldn't happen to lose, they started out 5-0 and ended 0-5. And let's go that way. Rock Hill in an upset.
Rock Hill, I think right now is playing inspired football. They beat Gallia, and you and I both, jaws right down. We texted each other and said, "Did you see this?" So I think Rock Hill's playing inspired ball. I'm going to go with Rock Hill.
Rock Hill, clean sweep. Everything so far has been a clean sweep.
Yep. Well, we got one more. I'll go first, Coach, and I'll let you take your pick here in a minute. But I'm going to go with Fairland Dragons tonight. I think even though Peyton Jackson's not playing, I think that Coach Cunningham and his staff will have a plan, and I think that our kids will do what they need to do to get that plan followed, and we'll have a win. Rickey?
Fairland big. I think Coach Cunningham's best coach in the OVC. I'll flat out say it to anyone. I think he'll have the boys ready, and I think they'll jump all over Chesapeake, and I think we'll see a running clock tonight.
Wow. I agree with you on the coaching. Last week was the best coaching I've seen him do. To lose your 3-year starting quarterback and come in with 4 quarterbacks. So tonight, one of them gets hurt, he's going to be okay. So, there's a lot, not just the rivalry, but you've got to take the playoff aspect of it. And my pick is...
This is a very special
All right, guys,
tonight
that's
at
it for
Fairland
tonight.
High School.
We appreciate you tuning
We'd like
in.
to
We'll see
pay
you
tribute to
here
our
in about
senior
20 minutes, 15
At this
minutes
time,
on
I'd
the
like to
show.
introduce Landon
Thanks for
Roberts.
tuning in. Thank you, Wendy's,
Landon
for
is a
everything.
football
You guys go
student
see him down in Proctorville. Thanks again. We'll see you in 20 minutes, folks.
Escorted tonight by Jim, Lisa, and Olivia Roberts. Landon plans on attending Florida Golf.